Good evening, everybody. Tina's arrived. Excellent. I will keep an eye out tonight to make sure that if something untoward happens, I'll start again. Uncle Brian, good evening. Iris, lovely. Good. Well, I hope you've got the hymns sorted after last week's debacle on whenever it was when everything went off. Let's hope we don't have the same kind of problems this evening. Wait and see what happens, I suppose. I'm going to start out with 536. It's actually 550 in the Methodist Hymn Book. Request from Christopher George, across at Tresillian. And reminded me actually that we did this on the television service which we broadcast from Truro Methodist many years ago, when I first got to, so it must be in the 90s I would think, television service with dear John Bartlett, who was the producer. You remember from Westward TV, as I suppose it was then. I remember him, he had a very flamboyant tie which he wore. I remember lots of other things as well. The numbers of times the church choir sang "How Lovely Are the Messengers," and we never ever got to hear it until it actually went out, and I wasn't at all happy with the balance, but there we go, these things happen. So, "Oh for a Heart to Praise My God," and I feel sure we did have this hymn at that service. So those of you that may have been up early this morning may have heard me speaking on Radio Cornwall to Naomi Kennedy about playing these hymn sessions. Very grateful to Naomi, and I think to Janetta, who listens weekly, and Naomi discovered that I did these hymns, and she'd like to know a bit more about it, so I was able to tell her, and got no idea how many hymns I've played, and of course the difficulties of we're having going back to singing and all the rest of it. It's as clear as mud actually as to quite what the regulations are, so I'm looking forward to seeing what tomorrow brings. See what we can do next, but I'm going to keep playing for the foreseeable future, and if we gained a few people from Naomi, then that's great, wonderful, and hopefully they'll send their requests in. So that was an early start to the day. I was told to be ready for 7:40 actually, and to ring in at about 7:35. I had a telephone call from the BBC, as you do, and I don't know, 7:15 or something, which I missed, and we did it all through the computer, so wonderful quality. It was interesting experience. It always worries me what I'm going to say, a bit like these sessions. I'm sure one evening I'll block my copybook and get it all wrong, but there we go. So the next hymn I'm going to do is Highwood 236. I've always loved this tune, and it's by R.R. Terry. Perhaps I'll tell you a little bit more about R.R. Terry when I play it. So Hark, what a sound. Isn't that a great tune? R.R. Terry. Richard Runciman Terry. Now, I don't think I didn't know. I knew it was R.R. Terry, but I didn't know his second name was Runciman. I'm grateful to Colin again. And I did a little bit of further research. So about Richard Runciman Terry. He played the organ at 11. Not at night. Hello, Sebastian. Sebastian's come to say hello. This could be trouble. I have fed them. He was a choral scholar at King's College, Cambridge, and influenced there by Charles Villiers Stanford, who I've talked about before. Oh, hello. He converted to Catholicism in 1896. And then he was appointed organist and director of music at the Roman Catholic Benedictine Downside School in Somerset. Now, Downside Abbey has got a rather splendid Compton organ. Comptons were quite famous for the style of organ that I see are going to be upstaged by you tonight, am I? It's an organist's thing, isn't it, eh? It's got a wonderful Compton organ. Comptons, not only did they build a particular style of, or a particular way of building organs and making pipes do more than one job, they've got an extension organ, but they also built theatre organs as well. And just digressing, the horseshoe console which we had at Truro Methodist back in the 60s was more than likely a Compton organ console, and the keyboards, I think I'm right in saying, but Lance would no doubt put me right. Lance Foyou does such a magnificent job in maintaining it, that they might well be Compton keyboards, and they're ivory keyboards at that, as opposed to plastic, and they have a different feel, and we could all sorts of things. So going back to R.R. Terry, he was integral in bringing to a revival of Tudor church music, which was very important staple sort of diet now of cathedrals and choirs. And he took up the post of organist, Master of the Music at the newly built Westminster Cathedral. Wonderful place, and some people think it's got the best pipe organ in London. I've never played it. Perhaps that will come one day. I've played the Abbey, but not the Cathedral. Just to drop that in. It was he did well at the Cathedral, but as time went on, he didn't quite get on with one of the cardinals, who had different views on church music to that of Terry's, and unfortunately he was forced to resign in 1924 after coming after increasing criticism for his erratic behaviour and neglect of duty, including neglecting administrative work, taking off without leave for weeks at a time, cancelling choir rehearsals without notice, dismissing clerks without proper procedure, and taking on too many engagements outside his cathedral work. So his inconsistent approach in trying to lead the music didn't go down very well, so he was forced to resign. But he did establish a great choral tradition, developing a repertoire of Gregorian chant, polyphonic music, and so on, and the legacy is still there today. Sadly, things at the cathedral haven't gone quite so well, and their director of music, Martin Baker, resigned some time back. So there we go. We shall look and see what happens. Now, are you going to behave yourself? Could you just sort of sit down, please? You've been out all day. I'm talking to the cat, by the way. The hymn which disappeared. from the other evening, When We Walk with the Lord. I will play that now. Trust and Obey, 687. Right, here we go then, Cat. Let's do this. do hope I'm still live out there. It does appear I am, yes. Cat's watching very intently. He's decided to have a bit of a wash now. So that was Terry. Sorry, it wasn't Terry at all. That was Trust and Obey. That's Daniel Brink Towner and John Henry Samis, who I don't know very much about at all. Right, mustn't turn my head away when I'm speaking. So we're going on to Praise to the Lord. Oh, Praise to the Lord the Almighty. I do like this hymn. One of those chances where I've got a bit of a last verse sort of unison change of harmony, which I've been doing for years. Saying that, I'll probably go and get it all wrong this evening, but never mind. Praise to the Lord the Almighty, the King of creation. So today has not been without incident. Those of you that were watching this morning, our YouTube live stream went down. There was a power cut in Trispan where Tim Bursey, who streams 9:22 and Sunday Praise at 11, does it all from Trispan, because it's a very, very fast broadband in Trispan, I understand, faster than the churches and faster than in Truro. So that's where all the things that go on, the technical brains to make all this, or mission control as Mark described it this morning, is in Trispan. And they had a power cut, so of course chaos sort of ensued. What was going to happen? So valiantly Mark carried on and did it all from his shed, and the quality wasn't as good as it has been. So there we go. So these things happen. So I thought, was this a warning for me this evening? Not that I could do much about it. I recorded the voluntary yesterday, and I don't know, it was a labour of love. I ought to post some of the bloopers, didn't I, at times when things go wrong, because they do. Once you're recording something, anything could happen, and it did yesterday. So after several goes, down there please, several goes, sorry, he's just turned that off now. Excuse me, while I put this back on so I can keep an eye on, thank you, what's going on. Where was I? So yes, so after several goes and not getting it right, and yet another go, and I thought, right, I've got it sorted now. It was a 2-shirt job. It was so hot here yesterday, and I was sweating like mad. And I got it done. I thought, oh, that's okay. Send it to Mark. And I sat down and I thought, I'll just have another listen to make sure it's right. And I discovered I've been playing a wrong chord at the end of the piece for years and years, always, I suppose. So I thought, that can't go out. So I did it all again, and right, that's it. And then what happens this morning? It all goes. The wheel comes off and it doesn't quite go according to plan. Never mind. Anyway, enough talk. Praise to the Lord the Almighty, the King of creation. Here we go. original German words, translated by Catherine Winkworth, and I think updated by Rupert E. Davies, one time president of the Methodist Conference, or at least verse 3. And that lovely, strong German to Lob den Herrn. So, moving on a bit further in the book to something a little more restful. Happy are they that love God, whose hearts of Christ confessed, who by his cross have found their rest, and neath his yoke their rest. Robert Bridges, which is based on some text by Charles Coffin from many years before, and the melody and the bass by William Croft, who was at the time a significant English composer. So let's have not exactly a genuine 19th century sound, but something towards it, I suppose. Let's do a Cornet introduction. Happy are they. Let's put that one, otherwise it won't work. Happy are they that love God. Thanks to Jenny Ruhr from Brieg for suggesting those last two hymns, Happy Are They and Praise to the Lord the Almighty. So keep your requests coming in, won't you? it's always great to have them. And this I don't. Did I have to choose anything today? No. These are all requests today. And the last request, if you were listening to Naomi on Radio Cornwall, sang me part of this. The hymn I like, and it goes and it's mysterious and slow at the beginning, and I'm thinking, what on earth is brain going, thinking, what is that? And then I couldn't think of the first line, but I could think, then go tell everyone. And then just at the end it came to me, God's Spirit is in my heart. So I'm going to finish off this evening with this bright, jolly number. Visited TMC this week and went in to actually, would you believe, do some tidying up, some gardening with Phil the caretaker. And whilst I was there, took the opportunity to play the organ, and I'm pleased to report it's in good voice. It's working well. I did post some hymns from there. They were done actually on the last visit, but it's still working well. And to sit down and play it, it's a joy, as I've said before, and the sheer power and presence of the instrument is just tremendous. This makes a good substitute, but it's not like the real thing. I couldn't believe as the stops were coming on and how much louder it was getting. Not that loud is always good, but the lift and the old floor just rumbling underneath with the 32-foot. These big stops which give sort of real presence and gravitas, I think is the word, underneath, and there's just nothing quite like it. When you think that the sound is coming here from a couple of speakers here, the organ speakers, and a couple of speakers the other side, whereas the sound at Truro Methodist is coming from all that you can see, from everything behind the facade. So this is never going to be the same. It's nice, but it's not like the real thing. There we are. So I do hope at some stage to be able to do some bits and pieces from Truro Methodist, and we will see how things go. As I say, we still don't know quite when we're going to be opening and getting things back to normal, because the new sort of 20-week sort of normal we've had has proved quite interesting in lots of ways. But anyway, there we go. So keep your requests coming in. God's Spirit is in my heart. So take that thought with you for this evening. So I've always been a bit amused by the introduction to this. It sounds as if I were a rich man, but there we go. So here we are. there we are. I hope you enjoyed that, Naomi. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for requesting it. So I will say good night, and do keep safe, and God bless, and I'll be back on Thursday. Take care. Good night. God bless.